Hi everyone, and welcome to this time the top 5 things I dislike about my Hyundai Kona EV. So last week we did the top 5 things we liked about it. Let's get on to the 5 things that I'm not sure of. And the first is the looks. I don't know what you think of the looks. I didn't buy the car for its looks, as you can probably tell. It's a crossover style hatchback, small SUV. It's got chunky wheel trims, plastic cladding, and is not the greatest looker in the world. Let's have a look from the front. It's got this mesh-like grille. I do like that it doesn't have a black fake grille, but it's got this mesh-like grille that's gone on the facelift and on the new model. It doesn't have a light bar like the brand new model. Overall, it just looks a little dated. It looks a little like it's 5 years old. It almost is. It was designed 6 or 7 years ago, and just isn't the greatest looking thing in the world. What do you think? Let's have a look from the rear. Again, not spectacularly bad, but certainly nothing to write home to your friends about. Oh my god, I own a Hyundai Kona. Next thing I'm not so sure about at the front of the car is the headlights. I got, when I bought the car, there was 3 trim levels. There was the SE, which was the lowest trim level. There was the Premium, and there was the Premium SE. Only the Premium SE came with LED lights. So although I've got LED daylight running lights, DRLs, the main headlights are in fact incandescent bulbs, which are terrible. The bulbs that came with the car, really not bright, really didn't light up the road almost at all. They were just there for show as far as I can tell, and I have done a series of videos about fitting LEDs in there, which is technically naughty, but I got a reasonable beam spread pattern that didn't cause any glare, etc. So I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, headlights, big no, really bad. The facelift model and the new model both come with LEDs as standard. It's a lot better, but do check your trims in case I'm wrong about a particular model, perhaps like the lowest trim or something still doesn't have LEDs, but it's much more common that you see it on the facelift and the brand new model. And the next thing I want to talk about is the boot size. So this is the boot size. If I take out the false floor, it's pretty good for holidays. You can just about get 2 very large suitcases in. You can get 2 kids suitcases in. We've done this when we've gone to centre parks and things in Holland. But we really struggled for prams, especially with the false floor in and the flat floor. Just not quite big enough. Because although I said I was happy with the size sort of ratio of not being too big that I feel bad, just me commuting in it versus just about coping with family life, the boot is a little on the small side. And as you can see, taking up the false floor, it is a bit of a pain. I got spare headlight bulbs in here and things. You get a little bit of a tray, and then down here in the bottom is your granny charger and your emergency cuddle teddy and your tyre reinflation device and foam and stuff. So yes, that would be number 3, just the boot a little on the small side. Right, so we're on to number 4 now, and the number 4 least favourite thing, or perhaps I would even put this number 1, is the seats. The seats in the front are just not comfortable on long journeys. I don't know how well they're holding up either at 55,000 miles or 4 years. You can see a little bit of creases in the fabric. You can see a little bit of bum wear. It looks almost like a Homer Simpson sofa. If that makes any sense, if you're old enough to know what that means. So here is my driver's seat. Homer Simpson's arse. A little bit of impact in the sidewalls as well. It does, at least on this model, the Premium, back in 2020, have lumbar support. So you've got electric lumbar support. You just pull that forward, etc. But otherwise, it's manually adjusted seats. And although I don't mind fabric, I don't want leather particularly. I don't want pleather. It gets too hot in summer. And is really cold in winter. I don't mind that it's fabric, that's great, but just the comfort levels aren't great. The fact that it's not electric isn't great. And yeah, overall comfort levels for an hour's journey, fine. Anything over an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, it's a little bit of a struggle. I'm only 36, but this car makes me feel a lot older sometimes with getting bad backs and stuff. And then the final thing to talk about with the Hyundai Kona EV that I got in 2020 would be depreciation. So all cars suffer from depreciation. 20% of any car you buy is just the VAT added on by the government or the tax. So as soon as you drive it off, it's lost 20% basically. You might get someone who pay you a bit more than 80% of the new car price if you sold it immediately, but you might struggle equally. And cars have traditionally lost about 50%. It depends on the model, depends how expensive they are. The more expensive they are, the more they lose. But you might typically expect to lose between 40 and 60% of the car's value over 3 years or 30,000 miles. That's for normal cars. EVs are just the same. So after 3 years, after buying this for £36,000 new, that was with a £3,000 grant off from the government at the time, and the PCP was for about half of that. So for 3 years and 30,000 miles, at the end of it they guaranteed it would be worth 17, so that's maybe 45% of the new price. And that's about what I was seeing on the open market. So if I went on Auto Trader, looked at a 3-year-old Kona with 30,000 miles, they were all selling for about that, which would be the balloon price. Now I decided to buy it out because I was fairly happy with the car. It was doing all my needs for driving. It can easily do my long commute. It can easily do my long journeys to my mother's down in Scarborough from Newcastle, or my dad's across in Blackpool from Newcastle. And the monthly payments to buy it out from a loan that I got from moneysupermarket.com, I think Sainsbury's were the cheapest with a 4.5%, 5% interest rate, were about £400 a month over 4 years. And so I thought that was fine. But increasingly, especially on my channel, if you want to check out the NHS Fleet Solutions, leasing a car through salary sacrifice, £400 a month, I could have got a brand new car, could have got a brand new Kona, could have got a brand new Ioniq 6, could have got a bigger boot, could have got better headlights, could have got a lot more quality of life, could have got a more comfortable seat for long journeys, or access to, say, Tesla superchargers at a cheaper rate for if I'd got a Nazi mobile instead. So there's just a lot of compromises, I suppose. And would I have preferred to instead wait 3 years for buying this at £17,000 second hand rather than paying 36 new? Probably. But you know, at the time we needed a new car anyway, and we needed a bigger one, so we'd have had to have bought something, and that something would have depreciated too. But perhaps if we'd got a cheaper one, for instance, I do remember seeing a second-hand Nissan Leaf for sale around the time I bought this for 36, and it was almost brand new. It was kind of like one of these pre-registered things that they were giving discounts new on, and it was for 26 or 24,000 pounds with not a lot of miles on. And so would I have preferred to save 10 grand? Probably. And would a Nissan Leaf been perfectly fine? I think it was the E Plus, the 62 kilowatt hour battery. Yes, it probably would. Less range, slightly, because instead of having 64 usable, it only got 58 usable, I think. But how often have I used that last 6 kilowatt hours? Very rare. How much would I appreciate the CCS over the Chatham? Well, I've only rapid charged like 4 times a year or something tiny like that, so might have been nice to save 10 grand. Could have had more stuff done to the house. Could have a heat pump, for example. Could have a home battery for that sort of price difference. So the only regret really of buying the car is could have saved some money waiting, I suppose. And my brother's bought the newer version, the facelift, of 2022 Kona for around, I think he paid 15 grand. So he's got the new facelift. It's got the LED lights. It's got a slightly upgraded infotainment screen and all that sort of thing. And he saved 20 grand. So good for him. I'm a little jealous of the price difference. But anyway, I suppose some of us early adopters, I could have sold this as well. Right after COVID was ending, could have sold this for almost no depreciation, and could have got an MG4. It was when the MG4 was coming out for about 28 to 32 grand. But this would be bought by Money Supermarket. motorway.com or any of those We Buy Any Car for about 28, 29, 30. So I would have had almost no losses for switching to a new MG4. And I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm probably happy keeping with this. It had bigger battery and stuff, and there's the rapid charging is faster in the MG4, but as I say, I rarely use that, so fairly happy to have stuck. Not really upset with the car at all, but that would be my fifth thing, not having more money in my pocket. Okay, right, thanks for sticking around. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out the description below for any Octopus links, or if you want some cheap secondhand electronics, check out my back market link. You can get a tenner off and I get 20 quid credit, which really helps me. Okay, see you later guys, bye.